Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach, and today I'm talking about walk away to get your ex back. So if you are hoping that your ex is going to come back into your life, if you're hoping to get your ex back, then walking away from them and going into no contact is one of the best things that you can do. Because basically, if someone's dumped you and if someone no longer loves you, that's really the only option you have if you are hoping to reattract them. And what I mean by that is that if you have someone that doesn't want to be there, there's not really much you can do to change their mind. Because the more action you take, basically, the worse it becomes. So if you've been dumped and you want that person back, the worst thing you can do is to keep hassling them, to keep contacting them, to keep messaging them, to keep contact going with them. Because basically you're saying, yes, I want more rejection, please. That's kind of like what you're putting across when you are, trying to worm your way into someone's life that doesn't want you there. Okay? So you got to be able to walk away from that and walk away from them, and to stay consistent with that and to stay mentally strong with that, because the alternative is going to make things worse. So that's the only option you have. The only option that you have is to walk away and to do no contact with them. One of the best responses that I've ever seen, and it's one that I've given people to use, clients to use, is, if someone doesn't want to be with you anymore, all you have to really say to them is, well, that's fair enough, because, I want to be with someone who wants to be with me. And if you don't want to be with me, then, that's fine. I want to be with someone that loves me. So, if you don't want that anymore and you don't want to be with me anymore, then, that's cool. But you know what? If you ever change your mind about it, just let me know, and you have my contact information, and then you move on with your life, right? And the key point there is to move on with your life, because when someone breaks up with you and it's clear that they no longer love you, you don't know if they're ever going to come back or not. And if they've dumped you and if they've lost all feeling for you, then it's unlikely that they will actually come back. But the best thing to do to make yourself look strong in the moment, to make you look strong to them, is to walk away from them and to allow the breakup, basically, not to fight for them, to be like, okay, fine, I accept that. I accept that you don't want to be with me because I don't want to be with someone that doesn't love me, and I deserve to be loved, and you deserve to be loved too. And let's go our separate ways, and I will find someone that loves me, and you go and find someone that will love you. And then you walk away. And then you stay away as well. That's the important thing there, right? When you walk away, you got to mean it, right? You got to be congruent with that, and you can't go back on it, because otherwise they're just not going to trust your word. If you say, okay, see you later, get back in contact with me if you change your mind about it, but then like a week later you contact them, you're not staying congruent with your word, and they're going to see you as weak and needy, and it's just going to make you look really, really bad, basically. And it's not going to put you in a positive light. Whereas if you walk away and you stay away and you accept the breakup, that's going to make you seem really strong, mature, and it may even confuse them a little bit, because maybe they've done this sort of thing before where they've broken up with someone, and perhaps their ex hounded them for a long time about it and wanted to get back with them, was really upset, and was like kept on messaging them all the time or something. So when you do the exact opposite of what the other people have done that they've dumped, they're going to look at you and go, huh, that's interesting. They didn't do anything. They didn't try and keep me. They didn't try and make things work out. What's with that, right? They'll be questioning that. Now, it may not be enough curiosity for them to get back with you, but it will make them respect you. At least it will make them respect you, because you've stayed congruent with your word, and you was really mature about the fact that they broke up with you, and you didn't make any sort of mistakes in that sort of way. So you got to be able to walk away and mean it, because it's powerful. It's powerful to walk away from someone and actually mean it. And it's not just in romantic situations, but also in like career situations as well, where, let's say you've got another couple of jobs lined up, and then you go to your current boss and you say, look, I've got a couple of jobs lined up, the pay is a lot better. So, if you are willing to match the pay of what these other companies are going to give me, then I will stay at this company. But if not, then I'm going to go. And then you mean that, and you walk away from that. And then if by chance, if that boss wants you, if that company values you, what they'll do to not lose you is they will match or maybe even give you more than the other companies that are willing to hire you with that particular salary, right? So again, it's not just with that. It could be with family members as well. Let's say you've got a family member that's not treating you in the way that you feel like you deserve to be treated. Let's say you've got a parent that kind of belittles you. You got to say to that parent or whoever it may be, it could be a brother or sister or something like that, or a cousin, you just say to them, look, I don't want to be treated in that way. I don't like when you talk to me like that. So, you call me up when you're ready to apologize, but I'm going to go. And you get in contact with me when you're going to, behave yourself, basically, right? And you're going to start treating me in the way that I feel like I deserve to be treated. And then you stick to that. And if they love you and care about you, that family member, that parent or sister, brother, cousin, is going to reach out to you, apologize, and start treating you a lot better. Of course, it may not work all the time, and it may be the case that you need to start distancing yourself with them if they don't change their behavior. But, it works in so many different life situations, and it's kind of like one of those laws of the universe. When you walk away and you can negotiate in that way, and you don't mind walking away from something like a relationship or a romantic relationship or a career, and really, really mean it when you do so, when you're able to do that, it shows self-respect, it shows strength, and it works. Like if they want you, they will come back, right? They will start treating you in the way that you want to be treated, and they will start behaving in a way that you want them to behave in if you do that, right? So it works in many different scenarios. And it shows that self-respect and it shows strength, right? It shows that you have self-respect and also the restraint to be able to stay away and to back off completely. It shows great, great strength, right? So it's good for you to adopt that kind of mindset wherever you go, really. When you're in a place where you are not getting terms that you want. And it's really, really effective. So the next point that I want to get into is kind of like a bit of a paradox, and that is the fact that you can resist them makes you irresistible, right? Now, obviously, it has to work. It makes you irresistible to someone that still has feelings for you. If your ex doesn't have any feelings for you, if you walk away from them, then you'll find that it would just be cold silence from them. You may get their respect, but you may not earn their love back. You may not get their love back. But if it's someone that still cares about you, that still loves you, the fact that you can resist them by walking away and not contacting them will make you more irresistible to them, and they'll make them question why they did what they did. If they still love you and care about you, it will draw them back to you because they can see your strength. They will be drawn to that strength and they'll want to reach out to you. So another point I want to make is, of course, with walking away, there is no definite way to tell if it's actually going to work. Even with like a negotiation situation in a job, you may have a few different jobs lined up that are going to pay you a higher salary. You go to your current boss and you say, look, these other companies are going to give me more, and that boss may very well say, okay, bye. But again, you're still going to a situation that's better, that has better pay. So it works out in the end anyway, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's actually going to work like how I said, like, oh, they're definitely going to change their mind, because there's a case that they may not change their mind about it. They may not. Even with family members as well, there's a chance that if you say to someone, okay, well, get in contact with me when you're going to behave because I don't really like speaking in that way, there's no guarantee that they're ever going to change their mind and change their ways, but it puts you at least in the best position to be able to change the situation. And if that person doesn't change, if that boss doesn't give you that job, if that loved one doesn't change their behavior, then you distance yourself. You move into that new job. You distance yourself from that family member. You spend less time with them. You go into that new job, right? So basically, you always want to be looking out for the next. You want to be looking out for a better position for yourself to be in, and to continue to grow in that way until you find a place where you're really, really, really genuinely happy. So the last thing I want to talk about is to don't wait for them to change their mind. You've got to move on. So, you don't know, like I said, you don't know if this is going to work. You don't know if walking away will actually get your ex back. It only works on exes that still have feelings for you after all. So you got to start moving on. You can't just wait by the phone, basically waiting for them to contact you, because there's a chance that they may never contact you, right? There's always that possibility there, and you've got to be open to that, right? And you've got to start to come to terms with that as well, and start moving on and start giving yourself some time. And time is the best healer. You know, I say to people a lot, you know, if this breakup only recently just happened, give yourself, you know, 6 months before you start dating again, to just give yourself a little bit of time to heal, to get over it, because I feel like by 6 months, your feelings have settled down a little bit. It doesn't hurt as much, especially if you haven't been obsessing and you have actually, you know, moved on, and you've been trying to move on. You've been getting on with different things. You've been taking your mind off of it. Of course, if you've during those 6 months, you've still been staring at their photos, still been, you know, consuming love songs that remind you of them, then obviously it's going to be very difficult for you to move on from them, because you haven't actually started on the moving on process. You haven't started to let go of all of that, focus on different things, and focusing on different areas of your life that isn't in regards to your ex. So you got to make sure that you've given yourself time where you don't do those kinds of things anymore, where you're not looking at their social medias and things like that, and you're not diving into old habits that make you remind them, that make you that get you reminded of them, right? You got to stop doing those things. Now, of course, you might not be able to avoid those things altogether. Like if a song comes on the radio randomly, it'll make you be reminded of them. But as long as you're not, you know, when you have some free time, you're not looking them up on Facebook and doing all that kind of stuff, because that kind of thing keeps you stuck emotionally. So as long as you're trying to move on the best way that you can, by 6 months, you should be able to start dating other people again. But again, you know, you got to take it by yourself and your own emotions. You may need a little bit more time. Perhaps you may need a little bit of less time. Perhaps you'll need a lot more time, depending on how long the relationship was. So you got to give yourself plenty of time. But time is the thing that will heal you. Time is the thing that will help things less sting. I'm not saying that the feelings will go completely, but at least you need to get to a point where the feelings aren't as intense. So thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Bye-bye.